Hello everyone, today we are going to be painting this folk art inspired whimsical winter landscape. I hope you guys enjoy. Okay, we are going to begin with painting this whimsical winter wonderland. It's kind of folk art inspired, and I want to take some indigo and I want to mix it with some ultramarine blue, and because I want to make the sky pretty dark. Oh, there we go, making it pretty dark. And I think I'm going to take some dioxide purple and throw that in there too, kind of making it a purplish blue, and then some water. And I went ahead and I drew out the picture. So kind of pause it here. That should have been masked, but that's okay. I kind of messed up here, as you can see, but I think it's going to be a wonderful, happy accident. So we are going to begin, and we're going to begin by wet on dry. And so I hope everybody had a wonderful New Year's Eve and they stayed safe and New Year's Day. I'm not sure if this is going to post for New Year's Day or the day after. And then the following video is going to be a art haul. So it's just going to be a relaxing painting today. That's why I wanted to use the masking fluid. You don't have to do it. But I didn't want to have to worry about going around. And I was home alone. My boyfriend had to work. So I thought I would go ahead and get a painting done while I was waiting for him. Today's our New Year's it's New Year's Eve, and just feeling really inspired, and I wanted to do something really cute and really whimsical, and this is just really hitting what I wanted to do. I am using my Etcher's sketchbook once again. It's the everyday one. And then I am using my Winsor & Newton paint and my Magello mixing palette here. Well, it's not a mixing palette, but the colors are for mixing. And we're going to go ahead, and what I am going to do is I am going to take the leftover color while that is drying, and I am going to go down to the bottom of the hill, and I am going to work up with the color. And I'm trying not to get my hand in the way, so if I do, you'll have to please excuse me. And what I am going to do is slowly walk it up the paper, adding a little bit of water so it can be thinned down, because we want a gradient where it's darker on the bottom and then lighter on top. And this, even though this is a simple folk art kind of inspired painting, we still want to keep in mind a little bit of perspective, and also, you know, the coloring and tones and all that as much as we can. So going ahead and taking this up, I think I want to add a little bit more color here towards the bottom, doing our bluish purplish mix. Oops. Okay, and then kind of blended it up. once again. And if you guys, a tip, you don't want it to be too watery because it will cauliflower. And this is not one of those times where sometimes it's good to have a cauliflower, but this is not one of those times. So just kind of, you can see I'm just kind of wiggling my brush, and we are going to let that dry. So we're going to come back. I need to blend this out because I just touched it and it should not have been. So that could be a not good thing. As you can see here, I just guess I need to leave it well enough alone. So then when we come back, this is going to be dry, and we're going to fill this in and do the house and all that. Okay, now that it's dry, we are going to move on. And we're going to, I want to do the gradient of this, and then we can unmask, but we can go ahead and unmask our moon here. And then our tree, we can just go ahead and unmask everything, actually. And I'm just using my finger, but you can use an eraser. You can use one of these things. It's one of these things for it. I'm not sure what it's called, but one of those. But I am just using my finger because this comes off extremely easy. And it's not perfect, as you can see. We can kind of fix that if we need to, but I think it will be all right. And then giving me a little bit of a problem over here, but that's okay. And I used, it is this Pebeo drawing gum. But that's what I use. You can use Winsor & Newton, has a really good one, but I got Winsor & Newton, the first one, and I wanted to try something different. But regardless, I think they all stink. Ugh. They do not smell too good. Okay, so I think what we're gonna do is I want to do our tree. And basically, I want the tree to be like a little piece of fuzz. We don't need that. Actually, it's not fuzz, I don't think. It's part of that eraser. But take a little bit of this yellow, because on the color wheel, blue will be the contrasting. So, oopsie, we don't want to make green. And you guys can see this is all in real time. Okay, taking back that yellow. And then I'm going to add just a touch of this burnt sienna, because I kind of want to dirty it up a little bit, and that's a little too much. So going ahead and taking a little bit more of that cadmium yellow, because I want it a lighter shade, but we can actually use that next, so that works. Taking a little bit of water. And the reason why I chose to do this color is because it's gonna really pop against that bluish purple. And with us doing the yellows and the oranges, it's just gonna really stand out against the blue. And that's what I want. So taking that, and then I'm just gonna go ahead and put this in like this because it's just going to add a little bit more dimension. And I think it's going to be really pretty. So now I'm going to mix those two colors, and I'm going to peek to make sure everything's in screen. It is awesome. So then we're going to do this tree here. And I am using my silver black velvet. I love these brushes. I think they are really nice. They are made out of some squirrel hair. They're halfway synthetic and halfway real, so it's kind of like a happy medium. And then I'm just gonna fill this in, and they're not perfect because when I went ahead and masked, it didn't go exactly all the way correct like I had wanted it to, so it is what it is. So I'm going to put the shading on this side, trying to move relatively quickly while the paint is still wet. And this is all gonna pop when it's done. You're gonna love it. And then doing a tree here. And I'm trying to work relatively quickly. Sorry, my hands are in the way, but trying to move quickly and keeping my hand out of the way and having this look presentable is sometimes a trick. And then kind of shaping it out, filling it out, and then we're going to add some of the darker to it as well. And the darker, we're going to add a little bit of that burnt sienna while it's still wet, and putting it on this side. Okay. And then letting the watercolor do its magic. Kind of blending it out a little bit though. Perfect. Wonderful. Wonderful. And you can see some of the blue from the masking fluid. There ain't a whole lot we can do about that. So, anyway, moving on. I am going to take black, this blackish color. It's either black or Payne's gray. If you don't have it, you can take some ultramarine and some burnt sienna, or you could take some red and green. This is where, if you know your color wheel, you can do the opposite color and make a mix that way. And sorry, you guys, I'm not trying to have my head or my hand in the way. And I wanted to make the, oops. Sorry guys, I gotta do it this way or it's just not gonna look right. My hand may be in the way, but just bear with me. I'm filling in a roof. I'm sure you guys know how to fill in a roof. And I don't want it to look all misconstrued. Okay. And while this is still wet, I want to blend in the roof. There we go. I'm sorry, guys, once again. I'm not meaning to be in the way, but there's really no good way to do this otherwise for a house. Okay. I feel a lot better. I got that. Sorry, I just wanted to make sure I had it right. And then clean that up right there. Okay, because we're going to put shading in anyway. So, now while we're letting the roof dry, you can, I want to try to, I should try to clean that up, like right here. I'm going to try just ever so slightly blending that in like so. And it may not work, but we'll make it work somehow. And then same thing with this. I just kind of want to clean it up. Okay, and then we can add another layer or put some bushes or trees, something. We'll figure it out. Okay. So now what I want to do is once again, I want to take the background color really light, like extremely light, once again, and form a gradient. And try to go around the tree. And trying to keep everything wet. I'm going to do one side of the house and then the other side. Because if we kind of section this off, hopefully I can get the gradient that I want. If I can get my words out. Words are hard. Because the key, a tip, to keep a nice gradient, kind of got to keep it wet. And this is where if I would have done wet on wet, it would have been easier. And hindsight. So now, taking it down, blending it up. Being mindful of the trees because they are complementary colors. So if you mix them too much, it can turn to mud. Kind of blending that up. Blended it out. Trying to get that sorry, once again, I think I'm getting sick. Hard edge of the tree. Beautiful. Beautiful, beautiful. Now, trying to clean this up once again a little bit. Okay. And then, so now we're going to go over to this side. And we're going to begin here. And then taking it out, blended it out. And then going down here. Kind of doing the same thing. So we're going to go across. And then we're going to take some water. And we're going to blend that up. Just like so. Trying to clean up the edge a little bit. I want to kind of darken that a little bit once again, and then blending it up. Okay. So we'll have our trees and stuff there. I really like how this is turning out. So we're going to go ahead and put a little bit of shading underneath the roof, underneath the windows. And then kind of wanting to blend out a little bit of this coloring. We can put a little bit of shading on this side. And if we need to, we can put another coat for shading, but I wanted to get this kind of blended out. And then for the door, we'll do a brownish door. And you can use whatever brown color. You can make your own, or I'm often, I think, to use burnt umber mixed with a little bit of Mars Black. I like that color. Okay, beautiful. Okay, and then I want to take this lighter shade of this, blackish whatever, this, it's either neutral tint or Mars Black, to be honest, and I cannot remember what it is for the life of me. If you have too much water, there's a drip, you want to make sure you kind of dab it off, because if not, it's going to drip on your page and it's not even going to be right. But we're going to fill in the windows with this darker color because it's late and everybody is sleeping. So we're going to go ahead and fill these in. And then we're going to add some little whimsical touches to some of this painting. But I want to get these little details taken care of first. Window's a little wonky, but that's okay. So if my hands are in the way, basically you're just drawing rectangles and then filling it in. I don't like making them too big. And this is where I should have I could be using a smaller like type detail brush, but it's New Year's Eve and I'm being a little bit lazy. Okay, so we got those. And then I'm going to want to make a pathway. So moving down and around on that. So I just love these little whimsical paintings. They're so cute and they're so much fun to do. I really, really love how they're turning out. And I am glad that everybody has been really enjoying them. And I hate it when a hair gets stuck in your painting. It seems like I'm constantly battling hair. And my dogs don't really even come in my studio that often, but it just goes everywhere. I know those who have pets know exactly what I am talking about. I'm kind of putting it darker once again on this side. And then I need to blend this out because I don't think I moved quite quick enough. And I do not want a bunch of hard edges. It's okay to have hard edges sometimes, but that's not the look I was going for. Cleaning it up. I really love how this looks. Have you guys had a painting where you're just like, man, that this looks so cute? That's how I feel about this one. I just think it's really cute. Sorry, my head's in the way. I needed to smooth this out. Sorry, you see stuff, you know, hindsight. But the good thing with this, if you do the lines, you're going to give an impressionist look of making it look like wood. Now, once again, I'm going to go ahead and I want to add shadow there. And then I want to go over under the windows. And I'm just kind of putting a line. And then same thing with the trees. And then you need to put in the trunk. And then filling in the branches. And this is what I love about these trees. They're just, you can make them so whimsical. And they're just a lot of fun. But the key is just kind of dainty lines, keeping it thicker on the bottom. But nice. And then I want to put the shade down for there. But I really love how this looks. It's really turning out cute. So now that we got the little house done, I want to put in a little bit more detail for the house. I'm just putting in some lines like it's, so it's not so plain looking. And it's going to add just a little bit more texture. And I love the trees. So I'll be right back. Need to take a little bit of a break. Okay. And I want to put another tree down here. And I want it a little bit more yellow. And then taking some burnt sienna. And while this is still wet, perfect. And then taking some of our dark. We gotta put in our little trunks. And trying not to dip your hand in like I just did. Making that a little bit darker. But that's a little too dark. But that's okay. And then I want to, make it a little bit bigger. Okay. Very, very nice. And like I said, I love how this is turning out. And then, so now I want to do the last minute touches, which we're going to use our Dr. P.H. Martin's Bleed Proof White once again. And I'm going to go over our moon. I'm rounding it up. A little too much bleed proof white, but that's okay. And then doing our little snowflakes that I like to do. When this was wet, I could have chose to do white salt, but I did not today. I really like going ahead and adding the snow. Or stars, whatever you like. It just adds that magical moment, I think. And then I'm going to go ahead and put little lines through here. Sorry, my boyfriend's coughing. He's a pretty sick guy right now. And my son is sick. So it just seems to be going around. And then I'm going to go ahead and put a little bit of white for the knob. And I think we can add a little bit more touches here. I just kind of, I think I wanted to bring out a little bit more of that orange color that I love so much. Burnt sienna is such a pretty color. And this is where this little detail brush comes in handy. It's a size 2. And I'm not worried about it so much for the trees in the back. But for the ones in the front, I definitely wanted to give a little bit more color and detail to. I think it just adds to the feel of it. And then definitely this one up front, because it is the one that's like the closest to us. Okay, so I really love how this turned out. I think it is super cute, super magical. You know, I love the colors. So I hope everybody is having a wonderful New Year's Day and they enjoyed their New Year's Eve as well. So, and those who are watching my video, thank you. If you stayed here this long, you're really a trooper. So, everybody stay safe, happy painting, and God bless. Bye, everyone.